94.7 Asempa FM. So any meaning your say bones. So Mamunya Kwababio assigned the mobile Ekosiisen. So it's Ghana's biggest and the most authoritative political, social, and current affairs talk show. Eric Ejay, a deputy communications officer, NDC, Bono region, Watanasi studio. I remember Kwaba and Chebia. But we received another statement, this time from former MCE for the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, and in the just ended national conference, NPP for the year conference, and NDC the year Congress. In the conference, of course, was Accra Sports Stadium. Ojinai se party from Twabamano as General Secretary. Nidin Ede Musah Superior. In fact, Oko Forestry Commissioner, a deputy CEO, and they were releasing statements. Hopeson Doy's understanding of the NPP tradition is poor. Wabekan sawa homane so me no enin komo ora Musah Superior akwa be Ekosiisen soni.
Oh, hello, good afternoon, Obi.
Na apomi ye de.
Oh, ye dan nyame na mutu ye.
Nyame adom bibia boko. As we speak no, Hopeson issue a public apology. Say the Okan a man for antenna see you no imagine no esibone. Would you allow sleeping dogs to lie?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because say OBI mistake. Now, one of the things a value the humanity is the mistake and now accept it why you mistake what humanity. So I think that on the issue of options and the kinds of things okay, I think that we should move away from it and concentrate in the way I make my mobilize and energize the party grassroots. But the problem I have with the apology is it doesn't look quite remorseful. You see, who watched the last paragraph of the apology? It is talking about something different. Now, every remorseful statement should stay remorseful, so that the whole physiology of that apology, it is captured in the minds of the people. So I'm sure, the advisors gather the literature of the apology. They haven't done him good, because they should have just let the apology of that, so that apology is best key in the minds of the people. But anyway, that is the way he wanted.
Yeah, but I'm sure that last paragraph you referred to now. Yeah. The last paragraph says, Asanteman has spoken. Alan Trematin is MPP's unifier and the best choice for victory in 2024, and I am at peace with it. To be fair to him, his apology was for the commentary he ran on that platform relative to the tradition of the NPP, Dankwa Dombo Buzia. But he was not apologizing for endorsing Alan Trematin. And this last paragraph, reiterating the fact that he endorses Alan Trematin. Okay.
The American say, the Uber issue apology. Make sure that the apology is holistic. Now, anytime you are issuing apology and you bring a foreign item into the apology, it undermines the quality of the apology.
Okay.
That's what that is my understanding.
Okay.
But let me also say, I am happy to issue apology. And I think that this matter should come to a close. Let's move forward as a political party.
But the other thing would be, sir, you also made a point in your statement, sir, Hopeson lacks an understanding of the NPP tradition. What is that tradition? What's your understanding of that tradition, Mepacho?
Yeah, because your values, that is a tradition. Liberty, democracy, transparency, diversity, freedom of association. These are the values of the party. Now, the traditional authority and narrative in the Fourth Republic, that is where he got everything wrong. Because now, because in 1992, the conference of the party selected Professor Dubois to become the presidential candidate. And then in 2000, conference chose His Excellency J. Kufuor to become the presidential candidate. And then in 2007, conference selected Nana Addo Dankwa to become the presidential candidate. The understanding of Hopeson is that it is a tradition, and that is not a tradition. This is a constitutional matter. Article 13 of the NPP Constitution clearly tells us how we choose a presidential candidate. It's the congregation of your party, polling station executives, members of the National Council, members of the Constituent Executive Committee, members of regional executive, and some category of NPP people who normally choose presidential candidates. So we are clear how you choose a presidential candidate. The same article, Article 3, Article 13.3, it also indicates how the NPP chooses its vice presidential candidate or running mate. Because it's clear that the presidential candidate will have to nominate somebody and consult in consultation with the National Council. So there are ways, there are modalities and our guidelines as a guide to choose a presidential candidate, any parliamentary vice presidential candidate. So if for any reason conference has decided to choose Professor Dubois, who he claims of Dankwa, and then the next election conference has decided to choose John Ajekub Kufuor, who he claims of Zia, and then the conference decides to choose 4 years later, and several years later, Nana Addo Dankwa, who he claims is Dombo. And in all, at the end of his conversation or saying, so in his view, the tradition is that any time Wuzia Niba, Dombo comes in, any time Dankwa Niba, Wuzia comes in. This is the most confused analysis I have heard in my life. And that does not represent the great MPP. We believe in diversity. In fact, one of the most important features of the NPP now is love for each other and non-discriminatory approach. The Constitution is clear on the way MPP should behave and go about any organization. There is nowhere in the Constitution I say there was a specific tradition we have to follow. If there is such a tradition, then of course they should discontinue the participation of non-Busia or non-Dombo people to participate in the contest. So my view is that it's not something we should encourage. Now the Dankwa Busia Dombo tradition, that tradition should not be the gateway for who to become a presidential candidate or a vice presidential candidate. A presidential candidate, you should be campaigning on certain qualities: capacity, competence, credibility, temperament, ability to deliver and mobilize the people, especially the energies of your party people at the local level. That's number one. And the other thing is to demonstrate clearly that you have the skill set. It means you choose you as presidential candidate and you become president, you can look after the country. These are the issues. So we are all campaigning based on religion and not tribe. The person has no place in the NPP because currently one of the most democratic parties in Africa is the NPP. And we don't recognize tribalism, ethnicity, any religious politics. In fact, that was prescribed by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ages ago. And it was on the basis of that we became the United Party. So some language, and when you speak like this, it goes to escalate. That NDC propaganda almost ages ago said, we are anti-modern, we are anti-Jongo, and we are anti-Islam. That is what it says all the time. Now, we are very significant member, and I think Hopeson Odoi is one of our leading communicators I respect very much. We are very strategic personnel in the NPP. I think that he should be careful the way or Qatar.
Somebody says I should ask you, Osi good day, Obi, kindly find out from Musah Superior what some party people mean by its Dombo's 10. Who is a Dankwa, who is a Buzia, and who is a Dombo? Is it something to do with tribe, ethnicity, religious affiliation, or what? Grandpa Asti, Menchia South.
Or say anybody who is saying that no, a danger to their party. This Buzia, Dankwa, Dombo is an old thing. In fact, we have to find a place and keep it somewhere and move up and become very innovative and modern. Because it does appear, say, Dankwa, Dombo, Buzia, no, probably is becoming a more problem to us. We are forward-looking people, galvanizing the ideas of young people so that we can get a proper, more proactive, more progressive political party to win power and win government.
And I think your views, no? Your views.
Me, I don't believe it.
Your views, Musah.
Allow the selection of your presidential candidate to go through the constitutionally required method to see a party. Now, anybody say or believe say he has the ability to be a presidential candidate, the person should be speaking to us directly, publish your vision, let us know your strategy, let us know your plan, and then go further to tell us how to you president how you will manage the country differently.
Your views seem to resonate with somebody like Ni Teiko Tego. Or say, Obi, we are the United Party, UP tradition, and not Dankwa Buzia Dombo tradition. Our tradition has never revolved around personalities, but around our center of the right values and principles. We are the UP tradition.
Absolutely. Now, this is it. This should do the thinking of everybody. Now, currently, Nukra, you stand down the tradition. Whether you were Dombo or UP tradition, you stand down the tradition and look into the future. We are now getting younger people. People have just gotten 18. I think that we should be telling them what we can do for them when they get into university. I think we should be educating them about the free senior high school, the kinds of things His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo is expecting to deliver for our country. We should be talking about it, and make sure that there should be some kind of renaissance in the NPP so that we put the old aside and try to innovate and modernize the operations of the party. So I agree with him there. This Dankwa, Dombo, this thing, it's an archaic thing. I think time almost probably UP, you know about 6 or 7 political parties all coming together. I remember it was I have read about the Northern People's Party, the Gadangbe Chimofe, the National Liberation Movement, I think, the Muslim Association, and then the Wasa Youth Association. They came together. Now, the Gadangbe people, where is their name? The Wasa Association, how can 3 people represent the entire country? So I think there has to be a proper, honest discussion and open up the conversation so that if we have to rename this thing or probably put it aside and just operate as a new patriotic party, so I totally agree with Nico.
Yeah, somebody, and I think it's Ni himself, he just sent me a press curtain of the Daily Graphic on Monday, October 7th, 1957. Yeah. 1957, there's a story which says the new opposition, 6 parties to combine, and also Dr. K.A. Buzia, leader of the parliamentary opposition, announced in a press statement issued at Kumasi yesterday that 6 opposition groups had agreed to unite into one political body. Dr. Buzia issued a statement to the press after reading it at a public rally of the National Liberation Movement and its allies at Abbey Park. Dr. Buzia's statement read, the representatives of the Northern People's Party, the Muslim Association Party, the National Liberation Movement, the Gan Adangbe Shifimo Kwe, the Wasau Youth Organization, and the Ashanti Youth Organization in a conference at Kumasi have resolved that in order to achieve our national aspiration of setting up a true democratic government, our various organizations be constituted into one political body. And that's the story, and it corroborates point now making.
Absolutely, and you realize that it tallies with the Nika, you know.
Yeah.
All the names that I've mentioned is the same name that the story captured. So wait, let's say a number of political groupings came to form the NPP. Now, if we choose some 3 names out of people who form the NPP and they are in various locations of the country, I think we have to review this thing and find a space to have a proper conversation so that at the end of the day, you know, we are able to look forward. And now all these things came about because, there was a law outlawing political parties formed based on religion and ethnicity. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah outlawed it.
Yeah.
So when we were getting back, all these smaller parties, who were either politically, religiously, or ethnically based political parties, they have to come together to do the UP. And all these things we have to be talking and congratulating people like Bafwa, Okoto and Co. Amu played very key role in making sure that the UP, people like Tolon, Professor Buzia and the rest, Amu making sure that the UP came together. You know, so
very well.
They are concentrating on how we can build the NPP into a modern political party, looking into the future to ensure that all the gains that the Akufo-Addo administration has got for this country, we're able to protect them and then deliver for our country.
Musah Superior, it's a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, that's Superior, right? Great. Ekosiisen Suni Haya Senpai FM. Musah Superior, former Tamale MCE, former General Secretary aspirant of the NPP, and now Deputy CEO at the Forestry Commission. And Amotezi Adeno Aidin Komo, sharing his views with us on the current controversy brewing in the NPP. Hopeson has since apologized for comments he made on a platform in Kumasi. In studio, Eric Ejay and Honorable Ayipei. Honorable Ayipei, a former MP, Ayensuano constituency in the Eastern region. Wabe Kansa ewo studio ha. Benika Eric Akwaba boko de.
Obi nyame adom na wonso.
Adom ya